Oop. Should I put my glasses on? No, we'll leave the glasses off this time. Okay. Hello, everybody. SnoozeVGC. And today, in light of the recent Players' Cup, which was actually phenomenal, by the way, I wanted to do kind of a early meta analysis on Isle of Armor and what we can probably expect from the meta going forward in that direction. Just as we analyze together to see what we could probably use for team building and how everything is going to work out in the end. So first thing I want to do is look at peakalytics.com, which is a website that has been such a blessing to the community. It also works in tandem with babiri.net, which gives you top teams from the showdown ladder, so you can keep a track on the metagame and how it's going. And they've been kind enough to keep track of the Isle of Armor statistics so that we can have kind of like a preview of what the metagame may look like as soon as they're legal on July 1st. And surprisingly, I mean, you can see on the side right here, Rillaboom is #1 in usage right now. It's on about 30% of teams. And it's actually, it seems surprising, but actually when you think about it, Rillaboom is kind of like what the metagame needs right now, because with its super buff and Grassy Surge, setting grassy terrain, it does a phenomenal job at countering the rain that everybody was freaking out about. And everybody saw Politoed and Kingdra being able to catch them in the Isle of Armor, and they just thought, oh, rain is going to be the best again. Rain is just going to be amazing. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not. Politoed, while is a great Pokemon on its own, it doesn't really add much to the rain archetype, but it does give good support options. And Rillaboom beats Politoed 1,000,000% of the time. I don't think there's any way Politoed can really beat Rillaboom. Rillaboom outspeeds, it gets grassy terrain, they usually carry Assault Vest, and Drum Beating / Woodhammer / Grassy Glide is going to be a lot of damage on these Politoed, with no really way to hit it outside of Ice Beam. So Rillaboom, I think, will be pretty popular throughout the metagame, just being able to counter those water types and getting access to things like Knockoff as well, to knock off Eviolites and Life Orbs, and to have priority with Grassy Glide. I think it'll be amazing. I don't think it'll always be in the #1 spot. I think as soon as kind of the hype dies down around the new Pokemon, that Togekiss and Dragapult and those other Pokemon that have those flying type moves to hit it with, will probably rise back up. But I think it'll always be a top 10 Pokemon. Togekiss is #2. No surprise, Togekiss is always going to be popular. It's just so freaking strong and does so many freaking things. Follow me, Dazzling Gleam, Air Slash, Yawn, Heat Wave, critting through your everything, following me, Babiri, weakness policies. It just pairs well on so many things and does just so much stuff. It'll always be in the top 5. I don't think there's going to be any point in the game, as long as Dynamax is around, that Togekiss is not going to be unstoppable. Urshifu, I definitely don't think will be in the top 5 for long. Everybody knows Urshifu's ability, letting it bypass protects, and its signature moves, letting it crit every time. But with a speed stat below 100, hitting 97 base speed, I think if it had been 100 plus, it would be a lot more of a threat. But there's just a lot more. I think there's a lot more, like Charizard, for example, that Charizard, with a max airstream can easily take it out. Togekiss isn't threatened at all by Urshifu, even with no matter which one it is. Max airstreams and air slashes are going to do a ton of damage to Urshifu, and even with an Assault Vest, most fairy, psychic, flying moves are going to be easy to hit KOs, if not straight up one hit KO, even with Assault Vest. I think if they had maybe added a little bit more special defense or a little bit more into speed, that it probably would have been more threatening. And it's not bad by any means, but I just don't expect it to hold on very long. Next, Whimsicott. Whimsicott's always going to be in the top 10 at least, if not top 5, because Whimsicott has so many options for team support with Tailwind, Moonblast, Taunt, beat ups with Terrakion, fake tears for the Lapras that we saw common in the Players Cup this weekend, and charm to lower attacks of opposing Pokemon. It's just going to be such a super good mon, and could fit almost on any team, honestly, and just do a great job. And DD female, I actually think will rise up quite a bit in the ranks, if not just hold its number 5 spot for most of the time. And DD getting access to expanding fours, I think makes it a lot more viable as a support offensive mon, because you can follow me, much like Togekiss, you can follow me, but also do big damage with expanding force. It has different options like safety goggles for sleep powders, which are common, the focus sashes if you want to go a little bit more offensive, or psychic seed to boost your special defense. Expected to have follow me and expanding force at the least, because those two moves make NDD male and female way more viable and a lot stronger. So I expect that to see a lot. I think that'll be around for a while. Politoed, the Toad Man. Politoed, I think, has been a little bit overhyped. With the occurrence of Dynamax and Rillaboom being number 1 in the metagame, as well as a lot of other things just getting like random grass moves like Gyarados or even Seismitoad, it's not really that super awesome. Politoed doesn't have any way to hit grass types very hard, especially the bulky ones like Rillaboom, Ferrothorn, Amoonguss outside of like Ice Beam, and Politoed usually aren't invested a whole lot in the special attack, so at best you're getting 2-hit KOs on those Pokemon. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a cold. Those Pokemon, but Politoed adds another Drizzle user. I still think Pelipper is probably the better one, looking at the metagame, with Amoonguss being a grass type, Rillaboom being a grass type, Whimsicott being a grass type, Urshifu being a fighting type. Hurricane hits you, even Cinderace sometimes, when it's the fighting type, for a lot of damage. I just think Hurricane on your Drizzle user is a lot better than Icy Wind or Ice Beam at this point in the metagame. But Helping Hand and Perish Song is a good way to close out games if you get 2 early KOs. But I honestly think Politoed will probably be top 10 at best throughout the rest of the season, but I don't expect it to break into the top 5 anytime soon. It's a great Drill user, but it's still not what Rain needed to become the better archetype. I think Kingdra was better for that, but I even think Kingdra has its downfalls looking at the metagame. Amoonguss will always be popular as long as it's in the metagame. There's no way that people aren't going to be using Amoonguss to check Trick Room, to just be annoying, and to make your opponent make choices between, do I want to stop Spore, or do I want to get a KO, or are they going to Spore, are they going to Rage Powder, are they going to Pollen Puff? Amoonguss with the access of Pollen Puff makes it even that much harder to beat, so expect that to be around. Kingdra will definitely fall off. Like I was saying earlier, Kingdra helps Rain become better because it gets access to Hurricane and Draco Meteor to beat Dragapults. But Rillaboom, even with an Assault Vest, you can Dynamax your Rillaboom, and Hurricanes won't be doing a whole lot to it. Drum Beatings are still really hitting really hard. Wood Hammers hit really hard. Togekiss being number 2, it hurts a lot with Dazzling Gleams or Max Starfalls. Whimsicott, Moonblast, and Tailwinds hurt a lot. Putting it to sleep, not the greatest, but it's definitely better than any of the other Swift Swimmers we had, but I don't expect it to be this high in the rankings. I think maybe it'll be like a top 20 for sure. I think it'll always be around, but I don't think it'll be this high. So expect that to fall off. Expect Rain teams centered around Rain in general to fall off. I think most people are still just going to use Politoed as a way to support their team, like help with their steel their fire weakness against their teams, and maybe just support. But I don't expect it to be. I don't expect the Rain archetype to be coming back anytime soon, as long as Dynamax is a thing. Cinderace is going to be popular. It's going to jump up because Yuri just won with it this weekend in the Players Cup. That's going to blow up. And Incineroar is going to be the same. Marowak, Alola, I think that will actually rise a little bit as Rain kind of falls off. I think Marowak, Alola will pop up more. Even regular Marowak, I think, does a phenomenal job against a lot of things. Rillaboom is still going to be a problem for the normal Marowak, but Marowak Alola does really well against it if you can stop the knockoff. Porygon 2, I think Porygon 2 and Dusclops serve about the same role. I think the one that you choose would just depend on the team composition. If you have a lot of fighting weaknesses, choose Dusclops. If you have a lot of ways to deal with fighting types, choose Porygon 2. Especially with the resurgence of Terrakion, you want to be careful about which one you're choosing. Dragapult, I think, will definitely rise. This is the lowest I've seen Dragapult in a long time. It's usually been in like the top 5, like ever since it was freaking introduced. So expect that to pop up. I don't understand why it's dropped off so much, especially since considering that it does a great job versus Rillaboom, Urshifu, Whimsicott, Indeedee, Politoed, Amoonguss, Kingdra, Cinderace. Like the only one on this top list right here that it doesn't have a way to like hit it really hard is like Togekiss, and even like Max Wormwind can almost OHKO some Indeedee, but it's like his Fly hits that, Phantasm hits that, Fly hits that, Fly hits that, Max Wormwind, Max Phantasm, Max Airstream, Max Wormwind. It just has so many things to hit the top usage mons that I think Dragapult will see a resurgence, and it will definitely rise up back in the top 5 once things settle down. Let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so we'll do a couple more. Primarina, I think will also rise again. People seem to make their team choices off of what other people have won with, and Yuri also winning with Primarina will make it rise up in usage. I think that'll also be in the top 5. Maybe not top 5, maybe top 10. Rillaboom being around discourages Primarina, but if you pair that with Dragapult, then you have better options. Tyranitar, I think will kind of settle here, honestly, because of Politoed and Kingdra. Not being able to hit Kingdra for super effective damage and being able to lower its attack, as well as Politoed setting Rain and being a lot more being not weak to rock like Pelipper, will keep Tyranitar at bay. I've actually played a lot of Talonflame, and I think Talonflame has a place in the metagame as kind of a niche pick with priority max Airstreams and Tailwinds. Also being able to outspeed your Whimsicotts with dual Wing Beat and potentially pick up the KO unless it's really bulky is, I think, really valuable. I expect that to rise actually a little bit more and probably break into the top 15, but I don't think it'll ever be a top 5, but it definitely has a place. Torkoal, I'm honestly a little surprised Torkoal has dropped so low. Same with like Excadrill and Venusaur, and Lapras, because it does so well against like combating rain, like setting your own rain, especially with like a Venusaur. Like there's nothing that they can do. Like Kingdra gets Hurricane, but it's not going to do anything if you put it to sleep. Like I think those could probably rise up a little bit more in the metagame to help combat rain. But like I said, rain will probably die down. I don't think it's going to stick around very long, and it will be rising up in usage because all people are using is Politoed. Duraludon, Excadrill, Hatterene, Venusaur are all Pokemon that I think still have a place. Excadrill usually runs Focus Sash, so I don't know why it would be too afraid of rain, especially if you have Tyranitar and the new speed mechanics. Being able to raise your defenses and special defense with its max moves and setting your own weather if you need it, I think is a lot more valuable than people give it credit. So I think Excadrill will rise a little bit once people figure out that it actually isn't that bad. Hatterene, with getting expanding force, I think we're going to see that a lot more on Trick Room teams, and I don't even think it'll be a Trick Room setter per se. I think people will mostly use it as a attacker. And Venusaur, I think, will be rising as well because Venusaur does well against Rillaboom. Rillaboom really can't do a whole lot to beat Venusaur, being grass and poison. Sludge Bombs are going to do a ton to Rillaboom, and it also helps check Togekiss, Urshifu. Focus Sash, Indeedee, it helps beat Indeedee, beats Politoed. Amoonguss can't do anything. Kingdra has Hurricane, but meh. I think it still has a lot of value, especially with the Gmax form, to do residual damage. But those are kind of my thoughts on the metagame going forward. Sorry if this was kind of a long video. I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there and see what you guys thought about the metagame and what you think are going to happen. So let me know what you think. Do you think that some of my analysis was correct, or do you think that I was wrong in some of my analysis? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.